The Battle of Cape Gata, which took place June 17, 1815, was the first battle of the Second Barbary War. A squadron of vessels under the command of Stephen Decatur met and engaged the flagship of the Algerine Navy, the frigate Meshuda under Admiral Hamidou. After a sharp action, Decatur's squadron was able to capture the Algerine frigate and win a decisive victory over the Algerines. Background: Stephen Decatur's squadron left New York on May 20 with orders to destroy Algerine vessels and bring the Dey of Algiers to terms for attacking American shipping. He reached the Strait of Gibraltar on the 15th of June and began his mission. After learning that several Algerine cruisers had crossed the Strait of Gibraltar shortly before he did, Commodore Stephen Decatur, Jr. decided to give them chase and cut them off before they could reach Algiers. Battle. Commanding a fleet of 9 vessels, he encountered the Algerine flagship Meshuda, also spelled Meshuda or Meshuda, of 46 guns off Cape Gata, Spain. Being heavily outnumbered, the Admiral, Hamidou, decided to try to flee to the port of Algiers, but was overtaken by the American squadron. After receiving damage from the Constellation and the Admiral himself being wounded, the Algerines instead decided to change course and try for the safety of a neutral port along the Spanish coast. Unfortunately for the Algerines, the Constellation and the sloop Ontario were able to close in and hammer the Algerine frigate. The Algerines resorted to replying with musket fire at close range, but Decatur was able to get his flagship, the Guerriere, alongside the Algerine frigate. Firing a devastating broadside, the Guerriere crippled the enemy and killed the Algerine admiral. Decatur ceased firing, expecting the Algerine ship to surrender. Instead, the Algerines continued to fight hopelessly with muskets as long as they were able. As a result, Decatur had the sloop Pipavia fire 9 broadsides into the Meshuda with disastrous effect. The bloodied Algerines then struck their colors and ended the battle. Aftermath: 406 Algerines were captured, with most being wounded as well as 30 killed. The American losses were remarkably light, losing only 4 dead and 10 wounded, all on the Guerriere. Most of the American casualties were due to a gun explosion, but a few were due to enemy action. After sending the captured frigate off to Cartagena, Decatur continued to cruise towards Algiers, but his squadron encountered another Algerine cruiser off Cape Halos. After engaging and capturing the cruiser, Decatur was finally able to make it to Algiers. The loss of the Meshuda and Admiral Hamidou greatly weakened Algerine morale as well as their naval capabilities. Once the American squadron reached Algiers, they met no further opposition and by a mere show of force were able to bring the Dey to terms, thus ending the war.